It's the WP Minute. This episode is brought to you by Malcare. Protect your high-performance WordPress website with Malcare. Keep it secure, backed up, and protected. Check out malcare.com. You know how it goes. Everything I mention here will be linked up in the newsletter and the blog post. Check out the WPMinute.com for the links. In the news, it's the earliest I've ever got this episode out. WordPress.org is sporting a new design. This redesign leans on the aesthetics of jazz, of course, and leaves more space for content, new typefaces, and color palettes. Go check out the new look. Hint, hint, wink, wink, and also the WPMinute.com. The second major release of WordPress 6.0 is scheduled for beta on April 12th. This release will follow the same cadence as 5.9 and will aim to refine and iterate on the customization tools introduced earlier this year. The full proposed schedule is now available on make.wordpress.org. The WordPress training team is looking for volunteers for the faculty program. The structure proposal has been published and more people are needed. You can help out in 4 different ways right now, and feedback is being encouraged. WooCommerce. The WooCommerce shipping and tax extension plugin, previously referred to as WooCommerce Services, is available. This plugin helps get your store ready to sell as quickly as possible with new products. They take care of tax calculation, payment processing setup, and shipping label printing. Also, WooCommerce has set up a developer survey looking for feedback on making the platform better. If you work with WooCommerce and have some suggestions or insights, jump over to the site and participate. From our contributors and producers, and slightly related to WooCommerce, Shopify stock closes down 16% after it warns that the pandemic boost will fade. It blamed a deceleration in e-commerce spending after the coronavirus pandemic, the end of government stimulus, and consumer spending. This Twitter thread by Moz Ali follows the Shopify cheap Facebook tailwinds and gives us his take on the new war. If you have a passion for blockchain and NFTs, you will want to take a few minutes to listen to the Do the Woo episode on the subjects. Brad Williams said he could see a world in the not-too-distant future, maybe even this year. While attending a WordCamp, you will get an NFT. The possibilities are wide open. WP Minute producer Justin Ferriman wrote a great post about putting a website on WordPress.com instead of self-hosting. Justin makes a great case for doing this when you do not need a lot of options and want to use built-in features. I, for one, invite a future where I don't have to recommend Wix or Squarespace to my not-so-technical friends. Would you like to be compensated for speaking at an event this year? Adarim is hosting their free online agency summit April 26th through the 29th, 2022. Vito Peleg made some changes after a discussion with Joe Casabona about speaking engagements. There are now 2 ways to be compensated, and it should be a great event with many speakers. Richard Tabor launches a new block-based theme, Wabi, for writers and publishers. You can see his announcement, tweet, and download the theme for free on WordPress.org. Coming up, we have 3 great segments by our continuing contributors here at the WP Minute. Bob Dunn for the Woo Minute, Michelle Schulp for her Mind and Body Minute, and Birgit Pauli-Haack for your Gutenberg Minute.
Hey, it's Bob WP from Do the Woo, and here's your 1 minute of woo-ness. I want to talk a moment about scratching your own itch. Of course, I'm not talking in the literal sense here. In countless podcasts, WooCommerce extension plugin builders often share in their backstory that the product they built was started by a need either for themselves or for their clients. On the other hand, others say it was a passion for them, and often these revelations are heard within stories of success, not those that pursued a product by either means and then failing big time. I'm not saying don't do this, because often it just works out that way, and not intentionally. But if that doesn't happen organically, well, then you need to find a problem. See where the need is and fill it. Of course, there are other variables to keep in mind as far as the scope of the need and the willingness to shell out some dollars. But the fact is, as a builder, you shouldn't wait around for that itch. Start looking at the options. Scratch your own itch or scratch someone else's. Thanks for listening. You can find me at dothewoo.io.
Hi, my name is Michelle Schulp, and this is your Mind and Body Minute. I think we can all agree that none of us are getting enough rest. Whether running a business, going to school, caring for family, or pursuing goals, everyone is always exhausted. And yet, even when we make time to step away or get more sleep, it doesn't seem to help. We still feel worn down, lethargic, or on the edge of burnout. What gives? Well, what if I told you sleep and breaks are not the only type of rest you need? There are actually 7 unique types of rest. Physical rest is both passive, like sleep or naps, and active, like stretching, meditation, or yoga. Mental rest involves taking breaks and slowing down. Sensory rest is where you unplug, close your eyes, and put down your screens. Creative rest reconnects you with the arts, nature, and inspiration. Emotional rest involves boundaries, honesty, and meeting your own needs. Social rest is found in our restorative relationships, and spiritual rest connects us to a deeper sense of belonging and purpose. Take a look at your life. Are there any areas of rest that you are lacking? Prioritizing all forms of rest can help restore our health and energy. For more of my thoughts on mindful wellness, visit fitnessandfreelance.com or continue the conversation with me on Twitter at MarkTimeMedia.
My name is Birgit Pauli-Haack, and here is your Gutenberg Minute. After full-site editing debuted with WordPress 5.9, the buzz centered around how to customize the experience, for instance, to restrict the color palette or disable duotone. The latest post in the core editor improvement series, Curated Experiences with Locking APIs and Theme JSON, offers the answers. Help us improve all things media by participating in the newest call for testing. Responses are due by February 23rd. On Friday, February 18th at 11 a.m. Eastern, 1600 UTC, Courtney Robertson with GoDaddy Pro will hold a workshop to guide participants through this All Things Media call for testing. This call for testing is also available in Italian and Japanese. The first iteration of Global Style presets was added to the Gutenberg plugin version 12.5. The design team wants your thoughts on the best way to implement storing these variations for site users. Join the conversation on GitHub. The first Gutenberg Developer Hours were a great success. The next session will take place February 22nd at 11 a.m. Eastern, 1600 UTC. Register through the WordPress Social Learning Group on Meetup. Keep up with updates to the blog editor via the Gutenberg Changelog podcast at gutenbergtimes.com/podcast. Goodbye. Until the next time.
Thanks, Bob, Michelle, and Birgit. Thanks to you, dear listener, for listening every week. Thanks to all the members who shared links today: Jeff, Chandler, Joe, Casabona, Hauwa Abashiya, Brad Williams, Nigel Bahadur, and Davinder, Singh, Kainth. And welcome new members. The number one Matt in WordPress, Matt Cromwell from GiveWP. Welcome, Matt. Welcome to the WP Minute. Thanks to you, dear listener, again for tuning in to your favorite 5 minutes of WordPress news, even though it's about 8 minutes today. The WP Minute is an experiment in community journalism for WordPress. If you want to support me, my team, especially my team, and all those that contribute, head on over to buymeacoffee.com/MattReport. Buy us a digital coffee for as little as $5, or better yet, join our community of WordPress newsies, get access to the Discord server, private behind the scenes, how the news is made, get your voice heard on the podcast. Join for $79 for the year at buymeacoffee.com/MattReport. That's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please share it wherever you do social media. Jump on the mailing list at thewpminute.com.